Hey everyone, so I was sewing and I finally figured out how to put straps in clothing and have them come out neatly. And if you can see the back, you have to see the back. So I'm really excited. So I decided to record and go ahead and show you guys how it's done. So I was having a lot of trouble with this and getting the straps right, and I was having to draw on the fabric, and I kind of finally just figured it out, so I am going to show you guys how I did it. So first of all, I'm going to start with the back piece on how to show you. It's a little loop that goes in the back of this pattern, and there's kind of a rectangle top already, which is kind of like a strap would go. Okay, so I line it up to the top of the straight part, and I make sure that the center is kind of equally divided. And first I always baste it in place. So, and I'm sorry for the bad light, but this is one of those late night sewings because I want to finish these projects. So I basted it into place, kind of not the best job, but it's in there, as you can see. So I am going to put the lining piece on top and sandwich it in the middle. So I was having a lot of problems because I was like, so where do I sew? Do I kind of like wiggle it through and like 1/2 inch seam allowance and then kind of narrow it in? So I finally figured it out, and that's what I'm going to show you guys today. So the pattern calls for 1/2 inch seam allowance, but I have a lot of trouble keeping 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to do a little bit less. Just by putting my foot, lining it up to the end of the fabric and having my needle as far to the end as I can. If it's a little big, I don't mind. My baby's kind of little, chubby little thing. So I'm going to start. And I'm going to go straight across. And do you see how it's going? It's going to come out straight, like so. And I'm just cutting it so that you guys can see. But I just sewed straight to the center. And now from that end, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to line it up. I can actually do it the other way, so I'm going to try it the other way and see how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and just stitch all the way across again. So line it up to the edge with my foot. All the way straight, just straight across. Okay. So that is exactly what I wanted. So I've created an X right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can probably mark it out with a marker. So that's one side in purple and the other side is in blue. And you can tell that there's an X where my stitches are going. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do a 1/2 inch seam allowance straight across so that I end up with this triangle right here. So let me show you guys. Okay. So if you can see now, I have what is my 2 lines crossing at the top, and it kind of creates an hourglass figure. So let me just color it in so you guys can see it. Hopefully a little better. So I create an hourglass right here. based on how I've done my stitches. And when I do that and I turn it right side out, this is how my end product comes out. So do you see how kind of perfect that is? And it doesn't, I don't clip off the sides of this at all, which is great. So now I'm going to show you guys with a strap. So I've got these straps that I made for this top. And one of the biggest problems that I did was that I made them a little too thick than they were supposed to. So clearly my pattern is going to be off straight away because of that reason. So let me line them up the way that they're supposed to. Okay. Just always baste it in place first, the strap. Always, always. If you don't baste it in place, forget it. It's kind of downhill after that. So now I'll do the other strap. And you always want to make sure, obviously, that your fabric is lining up. Turn it upside down. Okay. So let me baste this side in place. So always sandwich the straps in between. I kind of like to pin them in place just so that they don't shift on me, because I feel they sometimes go to an angle and it drives me a little bonkers. So kind of pin them straight down. And now they're in place, and I can kind of tell, do you see, it kind of takes up that entire area because I made them so wide. So the only thing that I need to be paying attention is that the center of this top area is kind of like right there. So same thing here. See, I marked it just so I know kind of where my center is. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to sew the sides again. And if you can tell, it kind of landed right in the center. So I'm going to do the same with the other side. I always have to pull my thread on this machine because it does something called nesting with the bottom thread that it becomes a horrible mess. I'm actually going to remove that pin now. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch all the way across. Do my neckline. And stitch straight across. So on this one, it's kind of a little bit to the right of that middle mark, so we're going to see if it actually comes out okay. So line it up again. All the way down across. Okay. So now can tell, I'm going to keep on marking this for you. I've made an X with my stitches at the top. So you can tell that the blue is this stitch and the blue is that stitch, which has created a triangle at the top. And I'm going to do a stitch right across, which will leave me with another triangle at the bottom when I stitch across. So okay, I've done it. That's one. Let me do the other and let's see how it comes out. So same thing. Sorry about the lighting. It's almost midnight. Do you see that triangle right there? Oops, sorry. Do you see this triangle I've created with my stitches right there? Yeah, so the time to tell the truth of how my straps are gonna come out. So I'm turning it inside out. And I know I haven't cut the inside fabric, so it's a little lumpy, but they come out perfect. Do you see it? So this is how you add straps. I've got it now cut with my shearing scissors, and you'll be able to see exactly how it looks. So just give me a second. Actually, I have another one that I've already done. So this is the other one that I've done. And this one, the straps were thinner, so I feel it looks nicer, but look at that neckline. Look at the straps. I didn't have any problems. And let's see what the inside looks like. This is how your inside would look, just perfect. So it really has helped that I figured this out because I was having so many problems. And I will show you. Now you can't tell, or you can't tell, but when I did this before and I hadn't learned the technique, can you see how this is kind of sticking out on the side and it's not right? So it's because I was kind of trying to loop around inside. I wasn't doing it the right way, and my strap, you can tell this one's to the side, this one's straight, so it really helps to getting, you know, these straps to go really straight on. So anyways, I hope it helps. Sorry for the bad lighting. I'm just sewing tonight and trying to get these dresses done. Thanks for watching.